Welcome back to Arcane Thoughts and Wisdom with Magi Micah. The School of Thought is in session, Divines, peace be. Grand Rising Cosmic Family, Fia Yin. We thank the ancestors for our presence in this moment, Ashe. In the last video we talked about the difference between being conscious or aware and unconscious or autonomous. In this video we will discuss the importance of fables, myths, and legends. Fables, myths, and legends are presented in all four corners of the world, and these allegorical revelations provide man with understanding of the cognitive abilities and creative prowess of our ancestors. Vicariously through rich, whimsical, and imaginative detail, these stories align us with obstacles, everyday minutiae, as well as phenomena experienced by our progenitors. And in doing so, tremendous diligence, where the technology, as we are told, during these eras could not. Let's begin with a few examples. The first being the origin of birthstones. Many of us don't think to ask what the origin of birthstones was, or rather is. But after a recent conversation, the concept was considered and questioned. Like most of the fables, myths, and legends currently, this one begins with the Bible, being a literal book of stories or parables. Scholars trace this concept of birthstones per month to Exodus. In this story, Aaron was the first priest of ancient Israel and is most famous for communing with God, who is personified as a cloud. He was also the older brother of Moses. He wore a symbolic breastplate, a religious garment with 12 gemstones set in it, wherein there were 4 rows of 3, each pertaining to a tribe, or in latter terms, a month or zodiac. The next story is the story of Hyrum, a master builder of the Temple of Solomon. This is the Western interpretation of the origin of the Kundalini, or Christos. The story of Hyrum Abi, or Hyrum Abiv, is that he is a widow's son, representing consciousness, and is sent up from Tyre, the south, or the sacrum, to work as a chief architect for Solomon, King Solomon, symbolizing the sun, or son of man, the heart. And he is attacked 3 times, and Hyrum tries to flee 3 times, and is assaulted each time, once in the breast, the throat, and lastly the forehead, reminiscent of where the Kunda, or Naga, within us resonates ultimately. Moving up from the south, and into the chest, and lastly, the lamb, or head, where, unless you release it, or sacrifice it in another way, it remains to die, or be distributed throughout the body. The last story is the story of the 3 wise men. These ancient magi follow a northern star, or illumined consciousness, or superconsciousness, in order to present the newborn Christ with 3 gifts. Everything that was just said is symbolic. The newborn represents peace, which is love and wisdom. The 3 magi represent the origins of humanity, or Ham, Shem, and Japheth. And lastly, the 3 gifts represent the 3 keys of Christ's identity. Gold shows us the royal and divine origin of Christ. Frankincense represents the priestly duties and nature of Christ. And finally, myrrh symbolizes the truth and ultimate martyrdom of the sacrificial lamb, the aspect of dying for our sins, so that we may be reborn. These fables, myths, and legends are important because they are a beautifully artistic way of explaining spiritual and arcane matters in easily understood terms, approachable by most anyone. The Bible, in particular, as well as other religious texts, uses these allegories to translate our similarities and unity. It's ironic that crusades and jihads are commonly associated with such vital information. This is just an introduction to arcane, esoteric, and occult symbolism in canon. Keep researching and remain conscious. Cosmic love and wisdom, family. Always. One.